As we go now and start to the next phase here, once again, let's imagine we're transported this time to Asia, where we're looking at our retail environment. Imagine hundreds of stores, new stores, no experts sitting at each one of these individual sites, right? Some are large, some are small. Provisioning, changing, this is a huge problem. Configuration drift. How do we think about like all of the distributed site management, monitoring? It's basically remote provisioning, right? And you can imagine, like, how does this work at large scale? How do I manage this, Thomas?
Well, this is something that we've been doing for a very long time, and we have very large customers doing very large deployments for us, and we've been investing into all these problems.
Yeah.
First one, Nutanix Central. One pane of glass for all your resources, now coming on premises.
Yeah.
All right. Second one is something that's a new solution for us called Zero Touch Framework.
Ah.
Some of you know it because you're using it extensively, but this is the first time we're showcasing this solution. It's super powerful.
Nice.
And the last one is new feature around multi-cluster LCM. Do upgrades in parallel across multiple clusters from Prism Central. So again, let's go to the demos, and please welcome Arthur from our solutions team.
Thank you.
Arthur.
Hello, Thomas.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so first thing, lots of clusters. I want to get centralized management. Nutanix Central.
Yes, absolutely. So, historically, I've been working with these customers, large customers, for a very long time, and they always struggle to manage and distribute, the clusters at a large scale, large number of locations. So, but at Nutanix, we have tools which actually can help you to address these challenges. So, first one, let's focus on management. So, this is Nutanix Central. This is the on-prem version, not the SaaS one. Can help you with management at scale, right? As you can see, we have plenty of Prism Centrals. On the top right corner, you can see we have thousands of clusters, VMs, and hosts.
So you have 5,000 VMs, 2,400 clusters. Yeah, that's a large environment. So how did we set up all this?
Right. So at a scale like this, ClickOps is not going to work. You have to have a tool, embrace the automation tool to actually help you out. So we have a tool which are being used by our customers, as you mentioned, which is called ZTF. So ZTF stands for Zero Touch Framework. And why Zero Touch? Because it does not require the smart hands at the remote location. So as soon as you power the server on, connect to the network, the Foundation Central is going to discover it and put it to the pool of the resources to use. As a part of the solution, we also use the GitHub when we store our code. And then once you check in the code, the ZTF is going to pick up the configuration, push it through the Foundation Central to deliver the solution.
So let's make sure I got this right. The entire configuration, your infrastructure, your clusters, the software versions, the configuration is all in a file.
Yes.
That you check into GitHub.
Yes.
ZTF picks up on this file and then automates everything from there. So the file governs everything.
That's correct.
OK, from bare metal to infrastructure to applications, potentially.
Yes, application as well.
Wow.
If you leverage Nutanix Cloud Manager.
I'm going to act like I believe you. So please, can you show us, are you going to deploy, let's say, a new site, 150 clusters?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me show you how easy and fast it is to deploy the Prism Central and 150 clusters. So to set the stage, we will be deploying the Prism Central in United States, in Ohio, and the clusters are already discovered by Foundation Central.
All right.
All right, so this is the example of the configuration file where you describe the entire config of the deployment, including PC and clusters and everything you need to have. Once you check in, ZTF is going to pick up and push it and drive the deployment. So let's have a look how does it going. So we have in the Foundation Central, which is part of the PC, you can see we have roughly 149 clusters done, and one more is still ongoing.
OK. How long will it take to do this?
So, the deployment took 48 hours. So the reason why it went so fast was because we shipped the gear out of the factory with pre-installed HV and AOS. And we're leveraging our API v4, which are helping us to deliver the speed and the scale we need. OK. So this is actually really great. By the way, we've got customers doing this at massive scale today on thousands of sites. So this is not a new thing. So ZTF does the deployment. Yes, deployment and configuration. But then what's actually nice is, in large environments like this, you have to worry about people going in and fat-figuring a config, right? So how do you go and actually protect against config drift? Yeah, so push like deployments and pushing configuration you can do pretty much with any automation tool, whether it's Terraform or Ansible. But when ZTF stands out, if, as you were saying, the config drift, right? So again, companies are struggling with this very often. And then let me show you quickly how does it work in a real life. So in this scenario, we have, this is our master file where we have specified the configuration for our Prism Central and all the clusters. On the top left corner, you can see we have 3 name server defined for every cluster.
Okay.
So now let's go log into the Prism, to the cluster, and remove one of the clusters. Oh. So what's happening in the background is ZTF is running every 5 minutes and fetching the CRUD events from a Prism Central, which are related to infrastructure. And as soon as you see there's this discrepancy between what is in an event and what is in a file, it reverts it back to the value from a file. So you can see it here. We did delete name server a few minutes ago, and 4 minutes later, ZTF recovered the configuration. And we can see, boom, we have 10.0.0.1 backup as a part of the cluster.
That's amazing, actually. Just a question. So we are showing basic configurations here, just DNS and name servers. What's the scope of what ZTF can control?
I mean, ZTF can control anything which has the API endpoint. Think about it, networking configuration, security, RBAC, users. We have customers using ZTF to actually do the password rotation. So today, ZTF works with the enterprise password vault, and some of the customers using it actually to rotate the password on a weekly basis.
All right, so hence the point of manage everything as code.
Yes.
Beyond just infra. So last thing, you have large environments, lots of clusters, you have security concerns, you have upgrades. Can ZTF help also?
Yes, absolutely. So ZTF with other tools, which we'll be talking in a second, can help you to address that challenges. I know from experience that large customers, they usually have a lot of problems with keeping up to date with the patching, with upgrades, making sure that the systems are secure. So, but again, we have tools which can help you that, right? So Nutanix Central, you can see the global inventory of all the clusters, including the versions and so on. So you can see today we have our Columbus data center. We have all the clusters with 610 versions of AOS.
Okay.
We have ZTF configuration file when you can define the payload upgrades. So we're going to be going in this demo scenario from 610 to 701 on AOS and upgrading the AHV to 10.01.
Okay.
And finally, multi-cluster LCM. So everybody knows the cluster LCM, the old good cluster LCM, right? But this is per cluster basis. So you have to go to every cluster, click it through, and execute the upgrades. With multi-cluster LCM, however, you can drive the deployment from single management plane across all the clusters you have registered to it. So let's click on a cluster. You can watch what the progress is on the cluster. You can see actually what step is on. So very detailed. And once it's finished, you can see the entire software versions with all this information on one screen.
All right, Arthur, this is amazing. So multi-cluster LCM is a new feature.
Yes.
And then ZTF drives automation to actually call this new feature that we have in Prism Central.
Yes.
Awesome. So everything from code.
Yes, everything
Deploy,
from code.
Maintain, upgrade.
Yes.
That's account management.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you for the demo.
Thank you so much.
You're getting your exercise today, Lee.
Well, you know what this is a tribute to, I think, is that Nutanix's view is that data and applications will be more distributed over time. Do you agree? Yeah. It will, right?
Yeah,
this is
true.
the thing, right? If you believe that, right, and think, hey, I'm going to have data distributed across large-scale environments. Retail's a great example, but all of us thinking about where data and apps will be optimally placed becomes very important.
We have customers using ZTF in their own data centers. They are so large, they have ZTF for the data center itself.
Exactly. So Nutanix Central, right? We're thinking now about the centralized visibility and scale, the monitoring, right? And being able to now look into prisms, right, across the globe, right? This is a really important aspect, as well as this full stack automated deployment, which I'm excited about. I was talking to some press this morning, and they were excited about it too, right? Looking to learn more. And then finally, the full stack automated governance, right? That idea that you can automatically now provision, right, across the stack.
And that last point is quite unique to ZTF.
Yeah. Very good.
So again, you can work very hard to make deployment work.
Yeah.
We make it easy for you, but governance is almost impossible in other environments.
Yeah, terrific.